2 minutes ago. Oh, yeah, we're just talking about all the hard work we put in at the beginning. Like, what kind of stories you got? I'm like, I don't know. I was taking a piss and I looked at New York Post and grabbed these three. That's called fucking show prep, baby. Welcome to Monday. How you doing? It's Monday. We're back in kind of full swing, but the schedule's going to move around a bunch anyway because that's how fuck we roll. But today, 3:30. Tomorrow, I think 5 o'clock. Wednesday, 5 o'clock. Thursday's supposed to be no show, just be the Thursday thing, but then we end up doing shows. So who the fuck knows anymore? Because we're pieces of shit. But Bobby's here. How are you, sir?
I'm good, man. How about you? Made it through the weekend?
I'm doing good. I had a fucking long, busy-ass weekend of a lot of work. I worked 3 different jobs this whole weekend. And then I went to an orientation today where they were all the dorks that were running it were like, "How was your long weekend off?" It's like, hey, I'd like to strangle you, but I just got the job, and I don't think that's part of the HR thing, so I can't.
Well, you technically haven't gotten the lesson yet, so strangle away and then plead ignorance, right?
Right. We learned a lot about sexual harassment today. By the way, there's a thing I didn't know happened a couple of years ago. I guess somewhere in 2019, a big lawsuit. So I didn't know this. I haven't had a job where I had to do this for a long time, just doing comedy and radio. We don't get sexual harassment stuff. Did you know that there was an incident so big that sounds so crazy? I mean, it'd be something we covered as a story if we knew at the time. But they're mentioning it. They mentioned it 5 times during this 2-hour thing. I guess what you can't do anymore. This is the actual wording. If a woman is breastfeeding, you can't stand outside of the fucking door and moo at her.
Moo? That's amazing. That is something I would do.
Because some guy was doing that a bunch, and then they were like, a lawsuit got involved, and it's like, and he's like, it's just moo, it's just jokes. So like, no, you can't, because it's like this and that. But what? I don't even know why you would moo. I mean, I understand the milk part, but unless a farmer's grabbing a tit, what's the moo part? I don't. Is she fat? Then moo. Moo to me at a woman is like you're fat, not you're milking.
I like to think he was just a very autistic person, and that's what he does when he's uncomfortable. So, like, he opened the door and saw a woman breastfeeding, and then his thing was just moo.
But I love that he did it so much that they're like, yeah, you know what? Shut it down. Put it in all the fucking meetings. Also on a PowerPoint, it said you can't call them bitches. I was like, they wrote bitches on a PowerPoint. They could have just said like terms. It said bitches. And then like the voiceover part, it said also hoes.
What? They got the hose too?
But it also for men, you can't call them studs. I'm like,
well,
it's not
call
the
me
same.
A stud anytime, dude.
It's not.
Please call me.
It's not the same. Poor women. They really do get the short end of the stick.
Call me cowboy and then save a horse and ride me.
You can't tell me my dick's big. I'll get so sad.
I don't like these broads messing up the workplace.
What is he talking about? Like pooping and inconsistency. Terry, we're on 3:30 every fucking day. I just announced this week's different. We've been doing this for weeks. You're the one who's not paying attention, my friend. We love you. You're an ace reporter. We haven't been on mornings in like 3 weeks.
But
it's 3:30 every day, unless otherwise noted. Which today it's noted.
And if you really miss mornings, tomorrow at the morning debut time, we got a video clip coming out. It's like 8 minutes, so you're going to be wanting more. Kind of like heroin.
I thought you said 9. I thought you said 9 o'clock.
Who knows? Sometime tomorrow morning. I think it's 8.
All right, because 9 o'clock's not morning debut time. Maybe I don't want to feel big. Maybe some of us want to feel tiny.
Penis size. You said you got a big.
Oh, yeah. By the way, yeah, I saw a thing today that said someone's last name, some Asian woman's last name was Hung. And I don't know why that just tickled me funny, but I was like, there's no Hung Asians, but there's many Asian Hungs.
That's pretty funny.
Yeah.
If she was
one guy's out there right now going, what you talk about? My penis large. Don't you tell me I'm not wrong. I'm wrong.
It is weird that they have a last name they can't even say.
Yeah. Well, they can, just not. They don't say it in our language. They don't call each other Hung and Lee. We're the ones who are like, that's what it sounds like.
Oh, okay. That'd be like if your last name was the N-word and you weren't legally able to say it without getting in trouble. That'd be crazy.
Yeah, I guess you'd have to, but I know you're saying legal, but literally you'd have to be holding your birth certificate every time you speak. What's your name? Let me just whoop. Pardon me while I whoop this out.
Yeah. Can you hold this
the birth certificate with the N-word on it? Like,
I promise I'm going to give you my name, but before you react, I need you to read this birth certificate.
I think the crazier part is that you're the N-word, but they called you Fred. Fred N-word is the best name. Because Fred's one of the few names that takes away from the power of the N-word.
Ironically,
Like,
Jim.
I mean, you're an N-word, but you're Fred. Jim, it can't be Jim. That's too on the nose.
And then we're insulting a whole different group if we're doing on the
nose.
But
it does work when they alphabetize your names, like at work, and they put a file up. Then it's the name it's supposed to be.
Like when they're taking attendance, exactly. They're like, somebody knew what they were doing here.
Well, I like that if you yell that, then you have to be specific. And what? Jim.
Oh, of course.
Someone's like, yo, there's like several in here.
Jim, I'm calling Jim. Everybody, all the rest of you that I'm not calling you that, but you seem to react like I did.
My father is Jim. I am James N-word.
No.
Jimmy N-word. That's me, baby.
That's
Happy Monday. Yeah. I also was on the radio a bunch on I was on the radio on 4th of July, and then I was on the radio yesterday from 3 to 7 as we completed the 1776, 1,776 songs without a repeat. And man, did we play some pieces of shit.
If you had to get an idea of where you tapped out, 800s?
Well, no. It doesn't in order of things we have. So, like, there'll be a lot of good stuff. And then once in a while, it's like, here's one we've never played. Like, you don't know it's coming. But, like, okay. There was somebody that listens to us, I think, Thea. I forget what her name. I think it's Catherine or something. She posted, I was listening to Pat Oates today on the radio until he played Jimmy Buffett's Margaritaville. And I was out. I wrote underneath. I said, yeah, me too. I also tapped out when I played Margaritaville.
But where am I supposed to go when I'm looking for my lost shaker of salt?
To fucking yacht rock, bro. Not to where I am.
Some people claim that there's a...
The only good thing about that song is Dan Soder's joke about it.
I don't know if I've heard that one.
It's about his dad.
Oh,
it's a fucking great joke. Yeah.
Yep.
His dad was a Buffett fan, and he died. You know, he's like drinking, and he's like, dude, he died the way he wanted to. Like, he had literally wasted away in Margaritaville.
Yeah, he nailed it. He lived the dream. Yeah. They have a plaque that honors Soder's dad. Every Margaritaville you go to, you slap it before you start drinking yourself to death.
Oh yeah, the restaurant. First, I was like, what do you mean every Margaritaville? I forgot there was a chain of stupid restaurants.
I was there for FezCon because Hard Rock Johnny was managing the one in Times Square, and Eastside Dave turned, puked real quick, turned back, continued the conversation, and no one threw him out.
I didn't even know there was one in Times Square. I don't know where any Margarita. There was one in Mohegan, and it's gone. Now it's a Mexican restaurant.
Well, Pat, similarly in Times Square, there was a Margaritaville. Yeah. There is no longer. Kind of like Jimmy. They didn't last long. My biggest beef with Jimmy is his song Come Monday. Why didn't he just make it Come On Babe?
I don't know. I didn't hear the first part he said.
The song's name is Come. It's Come Monday. So like, come Monday, it'll be all right. Come Monday, I'll be holding. And it's like, it could have just been Come On Babe. And then you could sing it any day of the week.
Oh, okay. When you were saying Come Monday, but you were saying it in the way he sings it, it sounded Jamaican. And I didn't like, Come Monday. I'm like, I don't know, Come Monday. Hey, it's me, Jimmy Buffett. I speak like this. Hey, Come Monday. Like, I don't
He does in the Volcano song.
Hello, Chris. How are you, sir? Hope you're doing well. That guy seems like a guy who's had a couple Margaritavilles in his time. He's an alcoholic.
He's still looking for his lost shaker assault.
Yeah. I like he has a podcast that just goes, hey, I'm an alcoholic. Can you hang? And then people are like, nope.
I love Chris.
Yeah. So I had I worked yesterday I worked my day job now from I got there at 5:15. I got out at 2:15. Jumped in an Uber. Went to the radio from 3 to 7, and it was. Everyone's like, retired. I was at the first part of the job. I'm like, well, no, because I was constantly moving at the first job. The second job, where I just sit there and 4 times an hour, kind of say something. Like, dude, it's got to the point where it's like I know I'm not music centric, but like with this 1776, I'm trying to say crazier things or have a little fun with it or something. At one point, we played a song by Dick Dale, and he has that like from like Pulp Fiction and shit. The guitar, it's all it is. So I'm playing. After that, I go, well, we're celebrating America, So who are the other great American dicks? And I just listed off great American dicks like Dick Buckus and Dick Clark, and I was just taking those liberties. Like at one point, I talked about we played even though it's 1776, we played everybody. So we played Rolling Stones and then into Phil Collins, and in between, I was like, well, what other things do we like about England? You know, it's like I like calling people hooligans, and man, do I love BBC. And I was like, oh wait, no, the channel. That's the breaks I was doing while somebody's in their car just hanging out.
That's a great break, dude. If I'm listening to that on the 4th of July, I'm in a good mood, to be honest with you. I'm like, all right, you know what? My day's a little bit better. At least I get it.
And then you got Phil Collins singing, I don't care anymore. It's like, you don't care anymore about BBC? Come on, dude.
It does with all the like breaking downtime in that job. You do get how people like doing overnights would just do coke and get blowjobs for CDs. Like you realize how it turned into that.
Yes and no, because they still had to do more than I'm doing now, because they at least had to like play, they had to pull albums and do things after every song. I'm babysitting an iPod, basically. Like, literally everything's programmed in. The only thing I do besides talk is drop songs, because we have to hit certain times, so they'll load it up, especially something like this. So like at the like certain marker points, I have to make sure we don't go over a certain amount of time. So if I'm over 3.5 minutes, I got to drop whatever's at the 48 point or at the 20 point. That's just
talk to the break. Yeah.
No, not even talk to it. Just literally drop them. Like,
okay.
Yeah, because we don't have talking to the breaks on a thing like 1776, because it's just in between songs, and then the commercials come in between after that, not right into it.
Just so make sure talking to the break. That's cool.
Usually, hitting the break is just normal. That I know that's old talk, but that's literally, you're just putting yourself in. But there's a voice track thing already set up, like a song. So if it says like Phil Collins and then it says Prince, in between it says voice track there, you have to hit a stopper on Phil Collins. So when the song ends, you just start talking and you start Prince, and you know how long of an intro you have to talk. So it'll show me, like, Purple Rain has like a 48-second one. So when I stop, I can talk over the last couple of seconds of Phil Collins, and then seamlessly hit the button and talk over the 48 seconds, and then try to time it as I can into Prince's first words, and then get into that way. But that's all you're really doing. But that's why voice tracking's so big now, because there's no more overnights. When you record it, you can pull together everything, the voice track, and tighten it. So even if you didn't hit it perfectly, you can bring it all together. So now it sounds seamless from song to song. That's why at night it doesn't sound like there's any space gaps. But when you hear live people, sometimes you hear some little silence behind it, and then you hear music.
Very interesting. Maybe you could write those notes down and send it to me the next time I'm going to edit a clip, because that seems like way better than what I was doing.
But enough about behind the stupid music. Yes, and by the way, for everyone else that asks, like, so dude, like, most radio's not live? Yeah, it's not live anymore. I mean, like, there are ones. So some weekends our morning shows are live, some things are, but most things are recorded. No one's on at night anymore. And then someone's gonna say to me, oh, okay, you're out, but you're also not on the radio. You're calling it radio, but you're just Puerto Rican or whatever. I don't know. But
you're talking to Cuba Gooding Jr. from that movie.
Wasn't he autistic in that?
No, he was full blown down.
Okay, I knew there was something called radio and he was in it, but I never saw it.
It's because he liked to listen to the radio.
Cutistic? Cutistic is great. He's just like... And then when he would go home, he didn't take a bus. He took sled dogs, right? Isn't that what he did?
That turns out it was just Cuba Gooding Jr. is for special needs, and he makes movies that special needs people would love.
Was there a bigger, a more forgettable star, like leading man than him? Like, for the amount of time he was leading man and stuff, no one thinks of him unless you make a joke. Like, when you start going great actors of, even if I said great actors of the 90s, you're not going to say Cuba Gooding, early 2000s. You're not gonna, until you literally run through everyone, and then someone goes, dude, who was Tom Cruise and Jerry Maguire, right? You're like, who else was in that? You're like, oh, Jay Moore was. You're like, well, who else is that? Oh, yeah, Cuba Gooding. Like, you don't even think of it. Like, even tankers like fucking Pearl Harbor. You're like, Ben Affleck, right? Like, yeah. And who else? Oh, yeah, Cuba Gooding. And like sled dogs. You're like, yeah, the dogs. And they're like, who else? Oh, yeah, Cuba Gooding. And in that Black Cowboy movie, remember that one? I don't think he was even in that. I think that was another guy.
I think that was Will Smith.
No, it wasn't that. That's another one. That's also
Wild West.
But no, then there was the one with Kool Moe Dee What the fuck was he had? The guy had dreamy eyes. What the fuck was the guy's name? Shit, something Junior. God damn it. Fuck. Black Cow. I gotta search. I don't know the name. Black cowboy movies.
I mean,
there aren't many.
Didn't like Terrence Howard kind of take over all of the Cuba Gooding Jr. roles?
No, as much as Terrence Howard is a fucking retard and a stupid fucking fake scientist, such a better actor than Cuba Gooding Jr. for Hustle and Flow alone. And he was even good as the Iron Man sidekick. You know what I mean? But
yeah, but then they made it that other dude because Terrence wanted too much money. But you said he's retarded and a fake scientist, and all I know about Cuba Gooding Jr. is the movie Radio, where he's retarded, and then that movie where he pretends to be a scientist, where he coaches those dogs. So you haven't convinced me that Terrence Howard isn't the new Cuba, to be honest with you.
Posse's the movie I'm talking about. It's actually not a bad movie, but it's got a weird cast. It's Mario Van Peebles was the guy I'm talking about. Mario Van Peebles was like Cuba Gooding, but he was like handsomer. And then the bad guy was like Stephen Baldwin and Billy Zane, like whites. They were just like whites you don't like. You know what I mean? No one likes Stephen Baldwin. I like him in stuff, but he always plays like that little shithead.
Yeah.
Who would have thought out of all the Baldwins that he wouldn't be the one that shot somebody on set? Like you would have thought he would have.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't think he's on sets anymore, dude.
First movie I get.
I don't call recording something in your backyard a set. But Billy Zane, Tommy Lister, you know who Tommy Lister is, right?
No.
The big guy from fucking Friday who fucking knocks people out.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Rides the bike. And then Mario's dad, Melvin Van Peebles, was in it. Blair Underwood. Now, you want to talk about a handsome black. That guy was one of the most handsome blacks of the 80s and 90s. And there was a TV show called L.A. Law. L.A. Law was a big fuck. Corbin Burnson was in that. There was the guy from Dark Man who played a retard in that movie, but not in the show, but not in the movie. And then there was like the woman from the Partridge Family. It was a crazy cast, but it was before Law and Order. It was a good law show. He was in that one. Blair Underwood, Pam Grier. There was a bunch of people in that.
Jesus.
It was good. Yeah, it was good. It was like I remember seeing that go, whoa, Black Cowboys, and it was a good time.
I mean, Django followed in the footsteps, right?
No, Django is not a black cowboy movie. Django is a slave movie.
He's black and he's a cowboy. What more do you want?
He's definitely not a cowboy. He gets an outfit, but he's a slave that frees himself. It's not a cow. He's a ranch or farm or fucking shoot him out corral like that stuff. He shoots and stuff, but he's doing that to free. That's a slave movie.
Okay.
If you're gonna do that, you can call every slave movie a cowboy movie. They're all on a farm at one point, but they're definitely not.
Yeah, but like Glory's not a cowboy movie, right? But it's a slave movie. It's kind of like Rectangles.
I would fight you that Glory's more of a cowboy movie than a slave movie because they're riding horses and they're fighting other people. They're not really slaves because they are in the war. Like now they're being told you're free, but you got to fight kind of deal. But they're really more cowboys. Cowboy versus slave is not an argument that happens much, but you'll only find it here on POS.
That is true. And I don't know if you know this, Pat. I should have been a cowboy. I should have learned to rope and ride. Nope. Unless if it's like the Britney Spears type where I'm a slave for you.
What kind of slave would you be?
Spartacus. You've seen how I handle authority.
You named an individual. You were so ready. Like that's been asked of you so many times. Like in your whole life, you're like, if it doesn't get asked, here it is.
I'm ready to go, baby. No, you act like I wouldn't be like, hey, this is bullshit.
You'd be Farticus. Pow, that's our time. Ladies and gentlemen, greatest joke ever.
Home run.
More like Sharticus. I'd be Dick Butticus. That'd be that's my slave name. One. I'm sure that's gonna be a clip that's gonna be fun when it comes out.
Yeah. Whichever one of us gets famous.
All right. Well, not worry about that. I just meant like now that we're both trying to like just be human beings.
Oh yeah.
So you got any hot ones, or am I starting this off?
Yeah.
By the way, I'm sorry. How was your weekend? Did you have shows or anything? I'm sorry.
No, it was pretty lame. I just kind of went into figure out what my next moves were, all that good stuff. Nothing major. How about you?
Worked. Just fucking work. Yeah, we got into that already. That was our small talk section. Sorry, I'm just answering messages from people that aren't real. That's always my favorite. A friend of mine hadn't heard from in a while. I thought he got back on Facebook and there was a fake one. I'm like, fuck you.
No, that's the worst. So I actually
know because he's not the kind of guy that would ever write like, "How are you?" then 8 question marks because I haven't answered right away. Are you doing the story first? That was happening here?
Sure. Yeah. Have you seen this story at all today about Lil Durk's son?
No, I did not get that news. I have a different news feed than you have, I think.
Do you know who Lil Durk is?
I've heard the name. I don't know any Durk's work. I don't know Durk work.
So he's probably best known. He started the OTF brand. He was friends with King Von. My favorite song with him is Computers, where he goes, "I don't respond to shit with Von because Von got killed." But anyway,
I don't know any of that stuff.
He's a rapper. He's like a tier below Lil Baby. So like Lil Baby is like gangster rap that kind of made it mainstream. He's one tier below that. So
Lil Baby is gangster rap? He sang with Dua Lipa
and Drake, but initially he was doing all the same shit. That's my point. Like he crossed over into mainstream doing the grandma test. Like more grandmas would have. He's closer to being
left
grandma.
Foot, right foot levitating. That is not gangster rap.
No, but like sometimes, even you got to push up. If the label tells you Maroon 5 needs a verse, they need a verse, and shit better be hot.
Maroon 5. If they tell me Maroon 5 needs a verse, I tell Maroon 5 to fucking lose 5 people.
They did. They listened. No. They've got the one. They kept the good one.
No, I don't even want to keep the Adam. He's the worst one. Get the other. You got 4 Maroons and 1 moron. That's it.
But so Lil Durk is a gangster rapper. He's best known for getting a revenge for the guy who killed King Von. He started this whole hood thing. I'm a fan. I enjoy his work, just to be clear. But he has a kid. He doesn't live with the baby mama anymore, Pat. And I'm just gonna read the story.
That's a shocker. Lil Durk left his family. Come on, Lil Durk. That's not a guy with a name Little in the front of his name. You'd think he'd be big when it comes to family. Little when it comes to others.
I mean, you mock, but Lil Wayne, he's big on his family, and he even like baby mama.
How many families does he have?
A bunch.
Yeah.
But he takes care of them all. He's big on it. He's like, I love
living with them. You could pay for them all you want. That's not living.
He puts them all in one like mansion. They all live together.
Yeah, they don't want to be there though.
But this isn't about Lil Durk as much as it is the 10-year-old son of rapper Lil Durk, who allegedly shot his stepfather during a domestic dispute with the youngster's mother. Surveillance cameras captured the moment the child.
That was the father's name. Surveillance cameras. They're naming them anything now.
Actually, it has his name here. Otherwise, I would have called him that. Surveillance cameras captured the moment the child allegedly grabbed the weapon from his stepdad, Joshua Pippins, and then aimed the gun at him before firing. In video footage, Pippin, seen in orange, can be seen attempting to restrain the child's mother wearing purple. In the middle of the fracas, the child, wearing a red t-shirt and shorts, aims what appears to be a gun directly at Pippins. The video then cuts as the brawl spills over from the sidewalk into the middle of the street as the couple continue to argue. The child then points the weapon at Pippins as a single gunshot rings out. Pippins can be seen falling to the ground after being hit by a bullet. The shooting occurred on July 1st, since which time Pippins has spoken out from his hospital bed. Pippins wrote on social media he was not the aggressor and that the young child was simply following the orders of his mother. As y'all can see, I was not the aggressor, Pippin said. And y'all can also see how I still had my gun on my hip. He grabbed my gun off my hip following his mom's lead and tried to shoot me, and then actually shot me. My gun was on my hip, and I was trying to protect myself from getting shot, he explained. I never in a million years thought a kid I bought 4-wheelers and paid for football leagues and everything would do this, but he only knows what mom shows him, Pippin said. I still love him like he's mine. Pippin suggested that the argument may have been about custody arrangements over a child the couple share. Whatever makes y'all feel better, that's why I got custody of my kids and she don't. Y'all so internet think, God, it was me that took the shot and not her. What? Y'all so internet think that God...
He didn't take the shot.
So here's what it's supposed to say. It's a typo. Y'all, so I just... Nope.
No, I just like that with the typo you kept, y'all. Like, to make it clear for everyone, y'all be knowing this thing.
thank God it was me that took the shot and not her, is what he meant. Like,
Wait,
so that took the bullet in the wound.
Oh, okay. Because
Like,
I
thank
was
God
like,
it was
he
him.
didn't shoot, did he?
No, I was confused too. Yeah,
Took
okay.
the shot. Yeah, we are all confused.
Poor grammar. Come on, Joshua.
No. Poor Grammar's the other rapper's name. Little Poor Grammar, that's my name.
Listen, nobody is going to jail or they would already be there. I'm doing this for rights over my kids. Call me what y'all want. And on top of that, this was at my mama's, in front of my mama, granny, and more kids. I pray y'all make it through y'all situation that God gonna put y'all through for playing with me, Pippins added. Meanwhile, rapper Lil Durk, who has 10 children, 5 girls and 5 boys, has so far not commented on the incident. Pat, who is the piece of shit in this story? Is it Lil Durk's son? I mean, if we're to believe Mr. Pippins, it sounds like he had the gun on his hip. The kid went and pulled some Black John Wick bullshit, grabbed the gun and shot him. Now, I'm not going to say that's in line with what Lil Durk raps he would do in his music, but it's 100% like from what Lil Durk says he would do in his music. Is it Joshua Pippins? You're beefing with Lil Durk's baby mama and her kids that like he seems like he tried to be as constrained as possible, but at a certain point just walk away. Don't engage, right? Just go away. Is it Joshua Pippins for saying he still loves the kid who shot him? I'm not a father, but I would imagine if my kid tried to kill, or my stepkid tried to kill me, I'd be pissed. I'd still probably have that unconditional love, but it would take some time before we were cool again. Is it Lil Durk? I can't see how it would be, but Pat, you tend to provide more insight into these things than I do, so please fire away.
Well, first, I guess maybe I missed this one part. Mr. Pippins, he's a stepdad? Is he still married to the baby mama?
It did. Let me check the article again. I don't think it said, but it sounds like no. There was a custody dispute with him and the other
kids. I thought
about.
I thought you were saying that they were in an argument about him getting custody of someone else's kids he has other people. That's what I thought that was.
No, they have a kid together, and it was about that.
So he's not, because that changes it. Where I go with this depends on, is he the stepdad or was he a stepdad? Because if he's not a stepdad right now, because if they got divorced, he's not the stepdad anymore. You lose that. You don't keep that ranking. I have ex-stepmom, you know what I mean? And I have a current stepmom. You know, it's like you lose it. You don't keep it like regular parent just because they get divorced. You're still a parent, but when it's ex, like same thing with mother. It's ex-mother-in-law. It's not your mother-in-law anymore when there's a divorce. So therefore, if he's the stepdad, then I don't think he's the piece of shit because he was trying to make sure two things were intact. He's trying to make sure that this kid gets guidance. He's like, if I flip out, he's going to learn more about violence and disappointment like his dad leaving. That's kind of probably why this kid grabbed a gun and acted like he did towards this guy. Also, he's probably thinking that if I flip out and we do get divorced, I lose out on this sweet Lil Durk money that's coming in for this kid. Because I'm sure it doesn't sound like Lil Durk was married to this woman. So maybe he pays alimony, but I'm guessing it's all child support because I'm guessing he doesn't they might have settled on something. He might provide things, but if they weren't married, he doesn't have to give her money. So they're probably getting some sweet money as the littlest Durk's money, Durk the third. And then that money's probably pretty sweet and they don't have to work since they have that money. You know what I mean?
If his kid doesn't start rapping with the name Durk the third, I'm going to be so pissed.
And he doesn't give us 10%, I'll be more pissed. You're welcome, buddy. But if they are not married, if they are married, the piece of shit is the mother for not making sure that another man is not going to leave her. Like, control. Your littlest man's proven you don't matter to him either. Lady, if one guy doesn't like you, it can just be his fault or things didn't work out. Two guys don't like you, yeah, maybe it's starting to be a little pattern. If two guys and a kid all fucking don't listen to you, it's you. And that's what I'm saying what the problem is here. Mr. Pippins ain't easy, but Lil Durkin is even harder. And Durk the third is the toughest of them all. So if he's trying to shoot you, then therefore she's the piece of shit. But if they are married,
I think they are. Because every article I saw, I just did a quick search, says that they're that he is the stepdad.
Then if they are married, the piece of shit in this story is Lil Durk. Because Lil Durk should be talking to his son about, listen, don't fuck this up. Because if you come live with me, if I have to take you because I make more money, if the court literally looks at you being with me being a better fit, because as much as I sing about and rap about shooting and all that, I haven't shot anybody or anyone in my house. There's now a shooting at your house. You live with me, you're going to be in therapy or dead by 17. Like, there is no chance you can live this life. So you want to stay there. So how about, I guess the tie is also like, hey, Pippins, maybe you don't leave a strapped gun on you while you're hanging out around the house. I know it might look cool, but did you just finish watching Posse with Mario Van Peebles? Why are you being a black cowboy? Put your gun away. Bobby, what do you think?
So I do see what you're saying there. For me, it's tough because if what Pippin said is true and that the mom was like, get him, get his gun, shoot him, shoot him, shoot him, then the mom's the piece of shit. Like, again, this is a 10-year-old kid. There's a good chance Lil Durk did give the exact speech you gave, but then the thesis was, and make sure nobody hurts your mom, right? Like, as a 10-year-old boy, you see somebody attacking your mom, she tells you to do something, you're reacting. If you've been raised, you know what I mean, in a household where you've been taught to do that.
Well, he hasn't. I'm going to go out on a limb and say that Durk the Third has not been raised in a tremendous environment. It's an incubator of... That's what it is.
Very, very true. But we were just talking about Patrice last week and how much he loved his mom even the week before he died. Like, that's a tight-knit thing. So who knows? But if that's...
We loved his mom because she brought him soda and pork chops.
I mean, who does?
I'm not saying that's the only reason why, but I was literally at a show and she brought 4 gallons of grape soda and giant double thick cup pork chops, and we had to ask a Chinese restaurant in the casino to cook it in a wok because he liked it that way. And then he died 2 weeks later. I don't know. He might have loved her, but she didn't love him. This man's 400 pounds. Stop bringing him grape soda and pork chops. Why do stereotypes have to stay? By the way, Ricky Smith, don't be worried about you, Ricky Smith. I thought that was hilarious. You're leading so far. That's why it's up there. I don't know Kit Mercer. I'm going to look up her stuff. Brandy Love and Corey Chase. That's some of the top stepmoms there is.
For sure. Also, pork chops and 2 liters of soda is the second way to show me you love me behind fighting another bitch for me. Just so you know. Just putting that
pork
out there.
Pork chops and grape soda is Bobby Tamburo's first album name right there.
Second. But, oh, and thank you, Jim. Yes, something good is on. So for me, the piece of shit in this story, if it's not the mom and she was this whole thing, it's Joshua Pippin's kids.
J Pips?
Kids.
If we're going to give them names, he has to be J Pips or something.
J Pips J for Junior. J Pips J.
Well, we don't care about the senior Pips. He's not in the story.
No, I'm talking about his kids. Like, because in addition to Lil Durk in the video, they're all
the Pips. They're just the Pips.
Oh, I see what you're doing here. I got you. So the Pips is my piece of shit. you could have gotten the gun too. We could be reading that, Lil Durk's stepfather's kids shot Lil Durk's baby mama, right? Like, come on, we're gonna let him. It was a 10-on-1, and the 1 won. What are we doing here?
And then and the New York Post can say, "Doing my Durky work."
Durky-o! It's one of my favorite lines he yells out in the middle of one of his songs.
Men at Durk. New York Post just have all day.
Son, you should have kept on the SSSSAA.
Do your home, Durk.
That was Safety Dance.
I don't know a lot of your references, but you can dance if you want to. You can leave your friends behind, but if they can't dance, if you won't dance, then you're no friend of mine. I understand.
We can go where we want to. We can leave this world behind.
We really can't, though.
No.
I don't know if they know that. You can't. You can go where you want, but not really. You can't just go to North Korea.
Oh boy, is that not foreshadowing for a story I got coming up?
Oh, no, I didn't even know. Oh, hero!
Look at you doing radio.
Look at that. Well, I don't have anything about North Korea, but I do have something about anti-Semitism. You ready? That's not the sound I should do for it. All right, how the University of Columbia has become like nuts?
Yeah.
It's wild. Andrew Schultz has a great bit about it now, where he's talking about it. He's like, first of all, Colombia, relax. Why all you lesbians now part of Hamas?
God, I love Schultz.
3 Columbia deans permanently removed over disparaging text containing anti-Semitic tropes. By the way, by Emily Crane, who usually brings us the best articles that I read. I don't give her enough credit. We shit on Ben Cost and everyone else. Emily Crane, usually, there's no stupid pun at the beginning. It's usually well written. It's usually good stories. Sometimes there's some goofball shit, but she doesn't really cover horse shit.
She also covers more serious shit, because this one would be ridiculous if it started with "Oy vey, 3%."
Jew got some splaining to do. 3 Columbia University deans have been permanently removed from their posts for sharing very troubling text that disturbingly touched on ancient anti-Semitic tropes. Dude, I like that they had to go to ancient. I did not read this yet. I can't wait to find out.
Yeah, dude, we're about to open up a whole new arsenal of insults.
By the way, these are not going to be 3 names that you thought was going to come out of this. Ready? 3 administrators. Well, first of all, Kristen Krom. Okay, that's fine. Matthew Patashnik. That's fine. Susan Chang Kim.
Yep.
Did it really?
Oh, yeah, big time.
Oh, I didn't know. I just thought they didn't like darker skinned people.
They don't like anything that doesn't look like them, Pat. That's why they really like everything to be uniform.
Yeah, but they buy a lot of stuff at the store, so they're not mad. Like, they don't. You get out now. You don't buy nothing. Like, no, you stay. You wear the hat. You a little hat guy. You buy whatever.
You leave gold.
Yeah, here's the rent. They have been on leave since last month. Since it emerged, they've been involved in a disparaging text exchange that unfolded during a panel discussion about anti-Semitism on campus. The incident revealed behavior and sentiments that were not only unprofessional, but also disturbingly touched on ancient anti-Semitic tropes. Just tell us what it said. Oh, said Columbia President Manoush Safik. That's my new favorite name. Manoush Safik?
I got nothing on that other than it's perfect for this story.
Manoush.
Safik, my dick.
Manoush is on fire. Whether intended as such or not, these sentiments are unacceptable and deeply upsetting, conveying a lack of seriousness about the concerns and the experiences of members of our Jewish community that is antithetical, of our university's values and the standards we must uphold in our community. They showed a picture of Susan Chang Kim, and she looks exactly like you think a Susan Chang Kim does. Provost Angela Olinto said the 3 staff members involved have been permanently removed from their positions at Columbia College and remain on leave at this time. It was not immediately clear what their current status was on the staff. I'm trying to find the part where they said. They're probably not going to tell me, are they?
No, it's a cock tease.
The group has exchanged messages, including one featuring a vomiting face emoji. As speakers discussed the impact that rising anti-Semitism, I can't read today, stoked by Israel's war against Hamas, has been on the Ivy League's Jewish students and faculty. In some of the text, the administrators had accused Jewish students of asserting privilege and mocked them for needing a place to huddle to avoid anti-Semitism and harassment on campus. Laying the case to expand physical space, they'll have their own dorms soon, said Pashatik, Associate Dean for Students and Family Support, in one text, prompting Chang Kim, Vice Dean and Chief Administrative Officer of Columbia College, to respond, comes from such a place of privilege. Wait, so they're saying that the ancient thing is privilege?
I was hoping it was stereotypes.
Yeah, me too.
We'll see what happens. There's still time.
Yeah, Crom, the dean of undergraduate student life, has used the vomiting emoji. I like that he just keeps doing that. They're like, they gotta huddle up. They have privilege. Like that guy's fun. That guy keeps the text thread going.
100%.
They have used a vomiting emoji in reference to the op-ed in the student-led Columbia Spectre titled "Sounding the Alarm," which was written by the school's campus rabbi Yonah Hain. At one point, Chang Kim wrote, "I'm going to throw up," in response to another. Okay, now we're getting there. In another portion of this discussion, when a Holocaust survivor, Orly Mashan, expressed fear about her daughter hiding in plain sight, while student protesters embraced Hamas following the terror group's October 7th massacre in Israel. Dude, if a fucking Holocaust survivor says he's worried, you can't be like, I'm gonna puke. I mean, if one guy knows about worrying, about being troubled, as Gary Goldman once put it, they've been in a couple pickles. The message, which were first reported by the Washington Free Beacon, were released in full by the House Education Committee last month. The developments come after the Ivy League's Morningside Heights campus became a hotbed of anti-Israel protest violence in the wake of the October 7th attacks. Hundreds of protesters erected tents on the $90,000 per school year's campus, sparking violent clashes with cops who were called in to disperse the unruly crowds. Who's the piece of shit in the story? Is it these three academics here for having a text thread and talking shit about this thing that's going on? Yeah, I know that it can be very polarizing, and they're probably dealing with a lot of shit, and it's really hurt them in the way they want to educate and stuff like that. But should they be talking in a disparaging way about the students that they're there to teach and take care of? Is it whoever found out about these texts? Because it's slippery slope when we start getting into the tech. A lot of things aren't happening.
Don't let Susan hear that.
Oh, Jesus Christ. That's what they call it when she's skiing. So they don't know slope. Anyway.
They don't know slope.
So is it whoever leaked this out? Because we're getting weird now. We're getting weird in a time where it's like people can get in trouble for texting. We're watching too much shit. You want to see this world really implode. You think it's bad now. You think we're divided, all that stuff. If you take away all privacy where no one's going to be allowed to talk anymore without every word being judged. I mean, listen, we've all left relationships for that reason. Every word is being judged and you can't handle it anymore. When the world becomes that, that's where you're going to see people really fight back. So should we even be talking about anything that was said in text? Yeah, it's fucked up. We talked about the Karen Reed thing a couple weeks ago with that detective. Yeah, he should have been more professional, and he didn't ever thought those texts would come back to bite him. But should he be allowed to text the guys who are also his friends and make jokes about, like, the guy literally, when someone said, did you find anything? He's like, no nudes yet. That could not even be about her. He could just make a joke because he's going through someone's phone about anybody. I mean, if he's going through some dude, like, no nude, ha, 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 whatever. Yeah, when he did personal things about her and stuff, that's messed up. Should that be allowed? I understand they're in professional settings, but everything can be a professional setting if you stare at it, right? So should people be allowed to fucking text and talk? Is it all these students that are leaning into this? Now, don't get me wrong. I believe there's about 6 to 7% of these students who actually really care and are educated and really want this, have passion for this. And I think everyone else is finding a way to either be involved, hit on a chick or a guy, or fucking get out of class or something like that and don't really care. So therefore, is it these people are causing this ruckus where it should just be stopped? If it was anywhere else and it wasn't a college place, you'd be storming it with cops and saying, get the fuck out of there. Or is it just the news for continuously pushing these things? All this does, and I just said I like Emily Crane, and I get why she reported this. She didn't put any horse shit in there. It's real. But by reporting on these things, if we ignore it, we're wrong. But if we draw attention to it, we're just making them want to do it more anyway. Because what they said, besides the puke guy, is just legit. It's privilege. Yes, they happen to be Jewish, but if it was just a bunch of white kids or a bunch of Asian kids, most groups, even if you said it was black kids, because it would be black kids who are going to a Ivy League school, so therefore privilege comes with anyone going there. So therefore, yeah, they're going to act privileged. Besides the couple of them that were there on scholarship, but even those kids are now privileged because they're going to school for free for a talent or an academic that they have. So is it them for fucking, for I mean, what you call it? Is it for, I don't know. Is it those fucking kids? Or is it the school, Columbia? Shut down. No one cares anymore. No one cares about college anyway. Let's all do tech school. We're all dumb. China's smarter. Let's just weld. Bobby was a piece of shit.
I mean, up until you saying China was smarter, it was going to be somebody else. No. I'd be more inclined to make Emily the piece of shit for the fact that she said there were going to be a bunch of great jokes in this article and then there weren't any.
So she didn't say that. She didn't say great jokes.
What was the headline?
It wasn't great. It was anti-Semitic language. You and I said great jokes.
Oh, I heard a bunch of Columbia teachers fired.
The headline was 3 Columbia
jokes.
deans permanently removed over disparaging texts containing anti-Semitic tropes. And later it said ancient anti-Semitic tropes. It didn't say great jokes.
I thought that meant classic Jewish bits. I was confused. That's on me. I was expecting something different. For me, the piece of shit's Columbia. Like, freedom of speech. That is a great line by DJ
Ricky is on fucking fire right now. I mean, Terry's doing great too. Jesus Christ.
But for me, the piece of shit, yeah, 100% the school. Freedom of speech. You may disagree with it, but they still have a right to say it. And you're absolutely hit the nail on the head. It is 100% privileged, especially in New York City, when if you leave the sheltered walls of Columbia, you're dealing with real assaults and real violence against Jewish people and against Muslim people alike. Like, it's back and forth. That's the real world. And if you phrase it in the context of these kids won't survive in the real world when they have to work right next to somebody with different religious beliefs than them, this becomes a different conversation. Also, it's New York where this has happened. The idea of a completely Jewish dorm and things like that, like there are neighborhoods where there are Jewish police, Jewish ambulances, like Jewish everything. You're not allowed to live there if you're not Jewish.
What does a Jewish ambulance sound like?
Oy vey, oy vey, oy vey. So, like, and it is fitting that the professors fell victim to the culture they created of cancel culture. And if you don't say what we agree with, you're the enemy. Like, I get that. But at a certain point, if we keep Hammurabiing up this code, everybody's going to be gone. Like, at a certain point, you need to either stand for free speech or not. Like, I don't necessarily agree with mocking kids who are dealing with a terrorist attack, right? Whether they're going through it or not. Like you said, maybe 10% actually know what's going on. But, you're a professor. You're supposed to be someone that these kids can come to. I'm not for it. But at the same time, like, it's free speech, man. Say what you want. And just remember that the next time a conservative pops off and states some statistics or something.
Yeah, I got no problem with the 3 teachers having a text thread. Now, if they came out in their classes and started giving their opinions in class, then I have a problem with it because it isn't about your class. You should continue to educate while you're there. You should not now these kids are trying to make the world their classroom and teach all of us a lesson what we should know or not know and this and that, whatever. But like, if they're just taught, if they're 3 academics who need to vent, it sucks. They can't, I think it's very scary that we're going to start using speakeasies, not for drinking, but for literally speaking easy. Like, there's going to be a time where we need to go hiding somewhere and need to start talking in that nature as everyone around. Can we do like back in the day? Like, you had to do like, if you were Jewish people, literally Jewish people hiding from the Nazis and having to talk and do things like that. And now it's become this thing where now they're hiding from these groups just to talk. Now, should they be, if they said anything anti-Semitic, then yeah, as an educator, you kind of sign an oath to kind of say that you're going to be open to all types, whatever, and not be that way. And if you are that behind the scenes, that's not good. You shouldn't be, you shouldn't be anti-Semitic in sheep's clothing. It's like in cheap clothing. Anyway, so it's like, but you shouldn't be that way at all. But if you just want to write puke every time somebody's like, dude, this sucks right now. Like, whatever. He's venting. He's blowing off steam. The 3 guys, whatever. And I don't know if we can call them anti-Semitic or not open-minded people. You got a Chinese lady. It sounded like an Eastern European guy and then like a white lady. That's the college brochure right there. All
fucking dream team.
And you're all set. You know what I mean? You did it all. So to me, that's not the piece of shit at all.
They had a gay, but Hamas cut his head off.
Oh, Hamas. No mas to Hamas. But
no mas.
To me, the piece of shit in this story, and I don't know, I shouldn't say this, but protesting never works. I'm sorry. It just doesn't. I know years later you can look back and go, because of all the protests, eventually people just fucking figure shit out or it stops happening. But protesting doesn't work because it either leads to violence, it leads to irritation, it leads to firings, it leads to anger, it leads to something wrong. Just like how I always believe that anger is wrong. It's not an emotion we should use. Anger never fixed anything. You might think it did. It might think it corrected the behavior. It didn't. It just made that person understand to not be themselves around you. And that's not the right behavior at all. Same thing with protesting. It just tells me what happens with protesting. People fucking get around the protesting by doing other shadier shit behind it. Now, do I know the solution? No. But I know that's leading to all this shit. I don't give a fuck about fucking any of this stuff. I don't know what it's about. I pay attention to USA. I don't know about that stuff. And I barely know about us. But I got so much I can cover. But I don't know what a Hamas is. I thought it was that shit I used with the pasties, the fucking chickpea sauce, whatever. A hummus the whole time. Like, we're having a hummus battle? That sucks. But like, it's not that at all. I know I didn't really think that. Fuck you. I was just trying to do a joke. It didn't work. Anyway, so
that's how they got elected. All of Pakistan thought they were the Hamas.
So we get those sweet chips. No, the pita chips. To me, the piece of shit in this story is protesting. And then what it leads to, which is this. You're protesting about how you want rights, but you're making it so other people can't even speak without being fucking dragged out in the mud.
And how did you forget how we got here as a country? No.
Oh,
like,
I think it meant me.
The reason why that First Amendment's in there is because literally what you were describing is what we had to go through. Speakeasies to speak freely. If you criticize the king, you could be killed. We're getting real close to that. We just don't have kings. We have social ideals. The only good thing to ever come out.
Anger did not make America, clown face. What made America was a bunch of people that were like, we're leaving. And then England's like, yeah, go ahead. It was just two people who wanted to say they broke up with the other one. That's all that fucking was.
I do agree the only good thing to come out of like just protests, not like full-on revolution, is music. Like, we do get good music.
Terry, I can't show it, but you're in the lead.
Yeah, that wins. we need to get monetized, but I don't see anybody topping that one, Terry. Good work.
Please don't try to.
Or do. Whatever. You'll be better at it than Emily, that's for goddamn sure.
First of all, I think that was a well-read article. Again, I think Emily Crane is the best person they have at the New York Post. Emily Crane's too good for the New York Post, in my opinion.
I think it was clickbait, Emily. I think you got me in here thinking there was going to be one thing in this article, and I didn't get anything.
That's because you and I think a certain way. Yeah, you and I think one certain way. But she wrote exactly what it was. She didn't say it. She didn't say jokes like you thought she did.
Just thought it was going to be some good ones, man. It's been a minute.
But guys, hit like and subscribe, by the way. We need to bang that up there. But by the way, thanks for everybody that checked out the bonus episode from last week. We got a bunch of views on that one from Mike Massaro. I thought he did a great job on that. I know the sound was a little difficult because we were in the hotel, but I thought the video looked awesome. And it was really cool that Bobby could pull that off. So those couple of podcasts we did there from the hotel were pretty cool.
A lot of fun.
And everyone that watched the last one with the eating champion throwing up in the front, thank you guys as well. We're getting a lot of views on there. Our views are climbing and climbing and climbing. We're almost there. So. But like and subscribe, that helps. Share the video as well. Let other people know about the shows. Join the Patreon if you'd like to. You'll get the Thursday Thought shows and other things that'll be up there. Tomorrow, Bobby's putting up a new clip from the show we did the other day. Where it was Bobby and I went off about like Biden and Trump and people like calling him out for this and that. It was a fun little segment that we both decided would be very good for a video. And Bobby did some awesome shit with it. So make sure you check that out. It'll drop tomorrow. Besides that, Bob, you want to plug anything before we do the next story?
Just July 20th, I'll be at the Bijou Theater, but more importantly, go see Pat. You see the scrolling. We plugged it a million times. It's going to be a fun time. Me, Pat, August 8th, 9th, 10th, Mohegan Sun. If you had fun with the last viewing, come hang. You can be a part of this live viewing.
Yeah, live view it up. It's a your turn story, guy.
Oh, is it really? Would you like to hear that North Korea story I teased, or do you want to?
I can't wait.
Palate cleanser. All right. Well, let me throw up my little stinger here. Where was that? There it is. Perfect. Let me know when you're ready for me to start reading.
First of all, we gotta wait for Kevin to get settled in. You're here, buddy. Now that's all that matters. Hi, bud. How are you?
Welcome aboard.
Send Jake a link. My brother?
Who's Jake?
Huh? Jake the Snake Roberts? Dude, I like that you're just using these pictures. I've been getting mad at a lot of stuff. I'm liking the anime pictures.
I thought it would be a fun little mix it up a little bit.
The last one I thought, because it looked like something they would do on CNN, like we colored in black people. But now I just realize you're doing this. It's like,
this is all me, man. So this is titled, I stayed at a North Korean summer camp. We polished statues and played a game where we destroyed the White House. This is, as told to Essay, is based on a conversation with Yuri Frolov, 25, who in 2015 and 2016 attended North Korea's Songdong-won International Children's Camp, which some Russian children will attend this summer. The following has been edited for length and clarity. Are you in already, Pat?
Well, if you're calling me a Frolov, I'll say I'm Yuri Frolov. No, I'm a Frolov.
It's too cool. This too cool. Yeah, logo. Yeah. All right. Let's see. When I was a kid, I remember watching a TV documentary about North Korea. Although I was very young, my perception of the country was that it was under siege by its capitalist neighbors. I knew little. I wanted to see it with my own eyes. I tried to find more information, so I subscribed to a group called Solidarity with North Korea on VKontakte, Russia's equivalent to Facebook. The Communist Party of the Russian Federation offered members of the group a chance to go to North Korea's children's summer camp for about $300. That included food, accommodation, all the facilities, plane tickets, and everything else. Really cheap for a 15-day trip. I saw it as an opportunity to see North Korea for myself. So I asked my parents, who agreed to send me to Songdong-won. I traveled alone from St. Petersburg, where I grew up, to Vladivostok in the far east of Russia, where I joined a group of other children and some Communist Party officials. At 15, I was one of the oldest. The others were 9, 10, and 11. I was probably the one traveling to North Korea. I was probably the only one traveling to North Korea to see this dystopia. The others seemed like it would be a good chance to go to the beach or play in the playground inexpensively. First, we spent 2 days in Pyongyang, where we were constantly supervised. We visit many places, including Kim Il Sung Square and the War Museum, where they displayed captured American vehicles, and the USS Pueblo, the American
Captured
ship.
American vehicles? Like what?
Well, like the USS Pueblo, the American ship that was seized by North Koreans in the 1960s.
Pueblo's not American. Get out of here.
I could tell why we didn't go back for it.
Yeah, that's like when you say Puerto Rico's America. Like, okay.
So they visited that. They visited the War Museum. They visited Kim Il Sung Square. They kept pushing us into supermarkets so we'd spend money. What was funny was that it was really easy to buy vodka and cigarettes. Kids in our group, some as young as 12, bought North Korean rice vodka, brought it to camp, and got extremely drunk the first couple of nights.
Nice.
Upon arriving to Songdong-won, the staff was very welcoming, cheering us on while we stood in a long line. About 5 buses of children arrived. 1 left. No, I'm just kidding. Though most of us were Russian, there were groups of children from Laos, Nigeria, Tanzania, and China. However, the North Korean children in the camp were quite segregated from us. We only met them once on our last day. I think that was deliberate, preventing them from talking with us about their experiences. The summer camp had many activities such as beach outings, sand castle building competitions, and swimming, but it also had some incredibly weird rituals. We had to clean statues of North Korea's former leaders. One morning, we woke up at 6 a.m. to clean the monuments of King Il-sung and Kim Jong-il. We didn't have sponges or anything. We were just brushing off the dust, even though the monuments were cleaned professionally every week. It was strange. We had to participate in concerts, singing propaganda songs in Korean about North Korea's supreme leaders, using lyric sheets translated into Russian. They tried to brainwash us in many ways. We played computer games where your character was a hamster in a tank, and it had to destroy the White House. One kid became so indoctrinated afterward that he joined the Communist Party in Russia and was always posting about North Korea. For me, it didn't work. The propaganda was too straightforward. Also, I was too frustrated with the strict schedule to be brainwashed. For example, when I was sick, they wouldn't let me skip early morning exercise. The food was also really bad. The only things I could eat were rice, wedges, and bread. I lost about 11 pounds in 15 days, even though I was already skinny. After leaving, I craved capitalist foods so badly that I bought 3 Burger King burgers, 2 large fries, and a cola. It was impossible to eat all that, but I just wanted it so bad. Despite the boring, miserable, and overly controlled experience, I returned the next year. I don't like confrontation, and the Communist Party officials had already signed me up, so I went again. It was a stupid decision to return, and I don't know why my parents let me go. But looking back, I'd totally do it again. I can easily make friends just talking about my experiences. People just want to hear about North Korea. Who is the piece of shit in this story, Pat? Is it the Communist Party of Russia for sending kids to South Korea's version of a fucking internment camp? Is it this kid's parents? He came home and lost 11 pounds in 15 days, and you're like, going back to fat camp next summer. Come on, fatty. Is it the kids for when they showed up and realized there were people from Nigeria, Tanzania, and China? And this wasn't the good China at the time. This was still bad China, that you weren't like, oh, I think we fucked up.
Wait, how long ago was this?
8 years. 9 years.
All right. Like less than a decade. Okay.
Yeah. But China still wasn't quite at the like forefront of, oh, they're doing the right thing moves.
The only reason why I asked is because like I was guessing it had to be pre-COVID.
Mm-hmm. 14 and 15, I believe. 2014 and 15. Is the other piece of shit this kid? I know you hate confrontation. You know what's worse than confrontation? A concentration camp in North Korea. Like, yeah, it's not going to be fun, but it's going to be better than dealing with that shit again. One uncomfortable conversation is going to save you 15 days of hell. Is it communism for being so bad that, dude, their goal turned this dude into the staunchest of all capitalists? Pat, you're my guy. What do you got first? Who's your piece of shit?
Well, I don't think you can. I know you're joking, but you can't call it a concentration camp because I don't remember any concentration camp goers that got to go shopping. So like,
before
you know what
they
I mean?
got there,
I know they're putting the money in the economy and stuff. Besides getting up for early activity, it just sounds like a regimented camp. Or what it sounds more like is one of those like visa work studies. It's like you're gonna come over here for like 30 days and you're gonna work and we'll give you a stipend or whatever it is. You're gonna put money back into our economy because you gotta feed yourself and drink, and this is what you can do. We're not gonna bother you, but we're gonna make you do this, this, and this. So that being said, on paper, I guess if you're a parent and you're like, well, I want my kid to learn, to listen. And I would say it's a fat camp, like you said. I almost feel like this was a scared straight type thing that these parents are trying to do, because you're sending your kid. It's one thing, like if you're like Bobby, your family was in like Pennsylvania, and you sent your kids and they sent you to Ohio. You're far away, but in reality, you're not so far away that they can't just get in a car and get you.
Exactly.
You're from Laos, and they send you to North Korea.
You're not coming back.
Coming to get you after the second day of crying. You're not allowed to leave. Like you have to. There's paper. You're sending them so fucking far away. You're sending a message. That's insane. Even back then, sending your children over to another country. We here, it'll be like when some kids like, before I go to college, I'm gonna go backpack around Europe to find myself. And those kids usually just get trafficked. That's how they make the movies Taken and shit. But we're not sending them there forced against their will and shit. That's wild that you can do that. So
Did you?
Piece of shit. Go ahead.
Just real quick, did you hear Tyler Perry's remaking the Taken series and just calling it "You Got Took"?
That's it, ladies and gentlemen. We did it.
I don't like when you do it patronizingly. I like when I earn it.
Sorry, I ain't gonna wait until I just finish my piece of shit, and then the piece of shit is you, because I had momentum going, and I was about to make it do a thing, and then you're like, "Let me do this Medea been taken shit that's going on here now."
Oh Lordy, Medea done been taken too.
But yeah, to me, the piece of shit is not North Korea for doing this. Listen, they got tourism going a little bit. They got people over there to see the product. They might have set up some super spies down the road. You never know. That's what they were really trying to do, probably get some people over there with some eyes and ears, teach them the right ways, find out who's good, who's bad, who's indifferent. This kid's not that good. You don't keep him around, but you throw him on your old Snowden list and you make sure he can't come back or do nothing after 2 years. They probably saw some potential in him. The piece of shit to me is the parents sending your kids to fucking North Korea to a fucking camp where they can get drunk and then have to work hard. That's fuck you. Like, don't have sex if you think that's what you're going to do to your kid 15 years later.
Yeah. Especially, do you think if you went to their Facebook, you'd see posts like, best 2 weeks ever?
No, well, you can't go to your favorite. You have to go to your schmack-a-bach, whatever the fuck you call it. The simple fact that you're going to send your kids there and have them go and, like, think they're going to, like, when you said, oh, you know, the next year, what's a little confrontation? I think the kid was being generous, Bobby. I think the kid was being nice. I'm pretty sure that North Korea probably made him sign a 2-year contract or something. I don't think confrontation with you and me, whatever, we get over it. Confrontation with North Korea is not good.
It's also not bad, which leads me to my piece of shit, which is the United States. These fuckers have a museum of shit they stole from us. So my piece of shit is George W. Bush. You wanted a second war to win the glory back of America? There's your war. Go get the USS Pueblo back. Guess what? They're all diseased and sick. It's not going to be a quick war. It's not going to be a long war. Okay? Just go, march in. Guess what? Now there's one Korea. They all make great pop music. The pain of the North Koreans is going to influence it into the weird emo phase we hit in the early 2000s. Some great music going back to protest songs. So for me, it's George W. Bush. That was your victory war. Leave the people in Iraq alone. I know he used weapons of mass destruction. Your dad sold it to him.
Bobby, we definitely have other countries' planes, tanks. We have all that shit in museums.
Exactly. And we have the ability to back it up. That's my point. Like, this is like you let a little gangster on the corner sell drugs, and then he starts popping off about how you're too scared to do. You shoot him. You send a message. Get my shit out of your museum, North Korea.
But you are sending a message. Just you're thinking the message is going to us. It's not going to us. It's going to the smaller countries that are like, holy shit, you've got an American plane. Because America to all of them is the big bad scary guy. Korea having it goes, don't fuck with us. You're not them. We only have one of them. We can have all of yours. You know what I mean? So like that's what you're doing. You're not going to a different prison and fighting their big dog. You're just showing that in your prison you're the big dog.
Okay, I see what you're saying. I don't want any of these other countries.
But that's not the tree they're barking.
But either way, we're the big dog. So if we thought they were barking at us, no.
Well, according to Biden, we're the big dog. Always will be the big dog. We're always the big dog. But then according to Trump, it's like we were the big dog, and then we had a blind dog and a deaf dog and a stupid dog watch us, and now we're not a dog anymore.
And my question is, who let the dogs out, Pat? Who? For me, the real piece of shit in this story is Russia. $300 a person to go to North Korea. We used to do a camp in Mississippi for $10 a person. I think you got ripped off by North Korea.
Ripped off?
Yeah, $300 a person to live in a ship.
Dude, to travel that far? You can't even get a plane ticket for that.
All right.
I mean, and housing and dude, that right. I was against this till now. I can't ever afford a vacation. I can go to North Korean endearment camp for 15 days on $300.
I mean, you can also go to
I get used to lose 15 pounds.
It was $10 a week.
That's better than Ozempic. Losing 15 pounds in 11 days, whatever it was.
No, you'll do that at my camp too. They give you fried food and you don't stop shitting for days. It just goes right through you in that southern heat.
You can't give yourself an Asian name like my camp too.
My camp 1 is my father.
My camp, our first name. It's no. All right.
Not to be confused with my cousin, Mein Kampf.
Oh, all right. That's our time. Okay. Hey, you know about scientists and how they're always finding shit?
Yeah.
Well, they're back and they're doing it again.
No.
I don't like when scientists are looking at space. They're always like, hey, space, what's going on here? And space is like, here's something nuts. And they're like, ah, fuck. That's usually what happens. I know I'm kind of paraphrasing, but that's usually what happens in most stories about space. We're like, hey, look, it's Pluto. It's planet, right? And then planet's like, nah, son. And then they're like, oh, my bad. You're out. Well, something happened. And this would be something, if it was your child, you'd be like the same way as they are. You're like, wait, what's going on here? I noticed something. Scientists investigate mysterious giant scar stretching across Mars. They are baffled about how it even got there.
Okay, now that you've said your headline, just to give people an idea of how many bullshit stories come out of space, just for searching for, I didn't want to accidentally step on your toes, but just for searching for today, I found we think the asteroid that killed the dinosaurs is why we have wine. I found there's a...
And you didn't pull that?
I did. It was bullshit. There's no piece of shit in the story other than whoever thought I needed to know that. Then there was one that there's a 1,000,000-mile wide ocean of fresh water in space outside of a black hole. That's cool, right?
Yeah,
oh, wait, it's 13 million light years away. So we don't know. We're just guessing. These are sorry. So, like, yes, science is particularly space scientists all the time just making shit up. The best one literally couldn't walk around. He just had a brain that could make shit up in it. Go ahead, Pat. Sorry.
The honest doubter. Just because something's fake doesn't mean we can't talk about it. I mean, we talk about fake shit all the time. If you don't believe in space, that's fine. I don't even know why we're exploring space. Space may not be fake. I don't know. I also don't care because I've never been to space, nor am I going to go to space. I think we should be exploring underwater. And I've said this before, way before we're doing space. There's a lot on this planet we haven't seen yet. We should be doing, all our research should be like, what the fuck is down there? Because there's some scary shit down there. There's monsters, baby. I know there is. We'll go to space later. Let's do water first. But yeah, I'm not worried about that at all. Fuck space. I mean, space is real or not real. I just don't care. The scientists are examining a giant, mysterious scar stretching across Mars, and they don't know where it got there, how it got there. An incredible feature, longer than 446 kilometers, which is for us Americans, 227 miles. The Grand Canyon at roughly 600 kilometers has been captured by the ESA spacecraft Mars Express 2-2. The scar, known as Agnipi Fossa, cuts across the lower flank of one of the red planet's largest volcanoes, Orisa Mons. Were you going to say something?
No.
Oh, I thought you were. The ravine was first spotted in 1930, but this is the first time scientists have been able to see it up close. So wait, so is it not there? They showed it. It looks like somebody keyed their car, but the car is Mars. It's a crazy ass fucking scar.
We're all gonna die.
Maybe it had a baby and it couldn't do it naturally.
Oh no, it got a scar section.
It got like a Red Sea section.
Oh, even better.
ESA describes it as a dark, uneven scar slicing through marble ground at the foot of a giant volcano in a ditch-like groove with steep walls on either side. A ditch-like groove is how I used to say R. Kelly's music was before he pissed on people. It's got like a ditch-like groove. The space agency says Mars Express regularly observes Orisa Mons and its nearby companions in the region of Tharsis. I like how there's all these names for a place we've never been. They're like, here's Tharsis and Orisa Mons. Why are we calling it that? We can't call this one Whoville, call this one Slappy Town. Why are we calling it all these crazy-ass names? Where several of Mars' behemoth volcanoes are found. And that's not nice to volcanoes. You don't gotta call them behemoths. Take it easy, baby.
Oh, God.
This includes Olympus Mons, the tallest volcano in the solar system. Isn't that the vagina?
That's Pubis Mons.
Oh, okay.
And I think I dated the one with the biggest Pubis Mons in the universe.
I thought that was the Greek one, Olympus Mons.
No.
Orisa Mons itself measures 270 miles in diameter and rises more than 5.5 miles above the surrounding plains. I'm still not getting why I should give a fuck. For context, the highest dormant volcano on Earth, Ojos de Salado, on the Argentina-Chile border, is almost 7 kilometers, 4.3 miles. I don't need context. It's space. We're still unsure of how and when Agnipi Fossa came to be, but it seems likely that it was formed as magma rising underneath the colossal mass of the Tharsis volcanoes caused Mars' crust to stretch and crack. I think Mars just gained weight. It sounds like stretch marks.
Literally, I was going to say, it sounds like a stretch mark.
Yeah, I think Mars got fat. Mars Express has been orbiting the red planet since 2003. It is imaging Mars' surface, mapping its minerals, identifying the composition and circulation of the tenuous atmosphere, probing beneath its crust, and exploring how various phenomena interact in the Martian environment. Who is the piece of the shit in the story? Is it the person that saw this and was like, holy shit, this is a big fucking deal. There's a scar. If somebody was looking at Earth all the time, they'd find different stuff with us all the time, like big craters. They'd be looking one day and go, hey, where are those two towers? Where'd those go? Like, they'd be always saying different shit. You know what I mean? There'd be all kinds of fun stuff going on. Is it scientists for fucking going, hey, everybody, pay attention to us, we're scientists. Like, nobody gives a shit, nerds. Fucking, until Martians get here, shut the fuck up. And they better be from Mars. You made us learn that word, Martian, and there have been nobody. That's a made-up dude. There's no Plutonians. There's no fucking Saturninians. There's no fucking Jupiterians. What the fuck are those guys? Why is it always Martians going on? Where's the Venetians with the Venetian blinds?
They better look like Marvin, and they better love African Americans like in the 90s.
I don't know the second part.
Marvin the Martian, they used to always, like rappers used to always have him on their shirts when they would smoke weed because he was hot.
Oh,
like
no, you mean African Americans better love them? Like you said, they have to love African Americans.
I said it backwards. My bad. I was
right. That's why I didn't get it. I'm like, was there a time where they came down and slept with them? Like,
that'd be awesome.
That's where clap them cheeks came from. I know that. That's that whole thing there. But is it scientists who are like, pay attention to us? I know we don't bring up much fun shit, but here's some fun shit. Really? A scar? I don't give a fuck. Unless fucking monsters are coming out of the scar or some kind of ooze, I don't give a shit about a scar. Is it fucking Mars? How boring. You know what I mean? Like, you're not even the fun one. You were the one with the most hype for a long period of time. No one gives a fuck about you anymore. Get some rings. Do something cool. Have fun. At least Pluto now is mysterious. Like, I'm not a planet anymore. It's like, I wish you were, baby. You want to get to know it. That's the first transitional fucking planet. It's kind of neat it did that. Is it anybody who gets mad when we bring up space? Like Honest Doubter. Like saying, hey, space ain't real. All right, a lot of things are. Marvel comics aren't real. I still read them. Don't matter. I tell jokes. Half the shit in it's not real. Who gives a fuck? It's fine.
We did a whole Thursday Thoughts about the LGBTQ.
I think like 3 of those are real. And it's like, or is it underwater creatures? Fucking step it up. I'm pushing for you. I'm trying. If you came out, you could tell everybody, it's fucking round, motherfucker. I know, because I'm in the middle of this shit. We would solve so much more. Water creatures, we need you more in case the aliens come to fight for us. Who's the piece of shit?
Oh, for me, this is easy. It's whoever named the Martian Express. Bitch has been up there since 2003. I'd hate to see the slow version.
Yeah,
there's nothing express about 21 years to map a planet.
Also, you all the names I just said for all those mountain regions, all that, all you come up with is the Martian Express.
Yeah.
Olympias Mons and Argentina, all that shit.
No, and that's not their language. You're basically Christopher Columbianing it.
Real quick. Unless he means times.
I think he made it because we are all over the place, but that was pretty funny.
Thursday Thoughts is just on Thursdays on sometime. That's not a set time because we don't go live on here, except for last week. That's just on Thursdays at some time on the Patreon. So Bobby, who's piece of shit?
If it's not who named the Martian Express, it's people who report news in the format of, yo, you got to see this. Like, that's all we have about this scar. Like, yo, there's a scar. You should probably know about this, but there's no more information to follow it up. We're not going to land a probe to check it out. There's no hypothesis in there about even what happened. It's the same as the ocean. It's the same as the fucking, like, these are all just, oh, you should probably hear about, and we shouldn't. We shouldn't hear about any of this. While I think there's significantly more in space to explore, as I just pointed out, there's like a million wide mile by million wide mile ocean. We live on Earth. Let's map out. Let's find Loch Ness. Let's get rid of the giant squids. That thing with the light on its head. Let's do like the dodo and get it to be Nomo.
See you later, stupid bird.
Yeah.
Yeah, to me, the piece of shit in this story is the scientists, and kind of saying what you just said, but even going more with it. Like, why are you telling us? Because you're not telling us shit. Okay, there's a scar. Now, if I heard that, I'd be like, okay, so in the days coming, are we going to find out what formed the scar? Is there a giant monster flying around scraping? Like, we have to be afraid of this thing. It's so big it scrapes planets. Was there an earthquake on there? Because that's probably what happened. But we couldn't call it an earthquake, call it a Marsquake, I guess. But it was a Marsquake happening there. Well, we will never know. Like you said, we got this stupid thing flying around, and maybe we got some kind of Mars rover, but maybe you could read seismographs. We don't know what that Geiger counter does there as opposed to here. You know what I mean? It's not the same shit.
Yeah.
So who fucking even knows? Why are you telling us if you can't tell us more shit later? It's kind of like during COVID when they're like, everyone calm down, don't worry, there's aliens. We're like, what? And they never said anything again. We're like, well, where's more? Scientists never pay it off. Scientists, I need closure. Just like with a lot of people I dated in life. I just need fucking closure. That's all. Even if it's not what I want to hear, I just need to hear why you're fucking talking about it. Why bring it the fuck up if you're not going to fucking resolve it?
You want to talk about anything, buddy?
I'm mad at scientists. They're always doing this. How about scientists are all of a sudden like one day just like, hey, here's a pill. AIDS is nothing. It's like, what happened to the 80s then? All of a sudden, just like, tell me about the research. We should still be talking about the guy who made a pill that it went from you can't sit in a toilet seat that you can go to camping with a guy with full-blown AIDS. What the fuck? Where's that? Yeah. Scientists never explain their work. I was in school the whole time. They're like, work it out. Show me your math. Scientists, show me the fucking scar math.
1,000,000%. Also, you know, it would be way more beneficial for science than telling me about a scar on Mars. Fixing male pattern baldness.
Yeah.
To solve that problem. You know how many more million people would benefit from that than your fucking bullshit? And if we got to keep it Mars related because there's a Mars budget, take the portal from New York City and put it on Mars. Keep it still in Ireland and let them keep flashing their titties. That is the best representation for American culture, or human culture even. Let's take it a step further.
And another thing, to double down what Bobby just said, take out the word pattern. It's just male baldness. What are you trying to do, soften the blow? It doesn't matter what part it is. It's balding. And take out the male part. It's baldness. If I have to fucking pretend that a lady's a fella, I don't have to fucking sit there and say it's male baldness. Baldness is baldness. Jada Pinkett Smith and me, same do.
And at least you have an excuse. You're a man.
At least I didn't fuck Will Smith.
Or Tupac.
Oh, shut up. You don't know my life.
Dear mama, just fucked a man with the same voice as me.
I'm going to show you more than poetic justice.
Is it you or me? Because you just did that one. So
I just did that. So that's
you. Did you just do that?
I just did Mars, baby.
Oops, there it is. All right, perfect. Our final story from Robert today. And this one might be my personal favorite. So this is irreverent fake teacher TikTok accounts disrupt Chester County schools. Now, this is not New York Chester. This is Pennsylvania Chester. Have you heard about this at all, Pat?
No.
So this is very funny. In Chester County, Pennsylvania, a peculiar trend has emerged among middle school students who have been creating fake TikTok accounts impersonating their teachers. This phenomenon has led to a mix of humor and chaos, significantly affecting the school environment and prompting serious concerns from the educators and parents alike. Students have been setting up these fake accounts with the names and photos of their teachers, posting content that ranges from humorous to outright absurd. These accounts quickly gain popularity amongst their peers, with posts going viral and causing a stir both within and outside the school community. One particular popular fake teacher account decided to revamp the daily morning announcements. Instead of the usual school updates, the account began announcing fictitious and hilarious events. For example, it declared "Bring Your Pet to School Day," encouraging students to show up with the most exotic pets they could find, like alligators and ostriches, much to the bewilderment of the actual staff and parents. Another fake teacher account took a creative turn with homework assignments, posting tasks that left students and parents scratching their heads. Students were asked to write essays on bizarre topics such as why pizza should be the national vegetable and solve math problems involving imaginary unicorns, which had nothing to do with the actual curriculum. Mocking the school's strict dress code, some fake accounts started suggesting outlandish outfits. One post humorously claimed that the new school uniform included wearing pajamas with mismatched socks, encouraging students to come to school dressed as if they were for a sleepover. Taking the prank a step further, one fake teacher account began to issue imaginary detentions. Students supposedly received detentions for ludicrous reasons like laughing too much during class or having a cooler lunchbox than me. Adding to the absurdity, another account posted fake quiz questions that were utterly nonsensical. The situation quickly escalated, forcing school administrators to step in. They issued official communications to students and parents clarifying that these accounts were fake and urging everyone to verify information before accepting it as true. The school also collaborated with TikTok to have these fake accounts removed, emphasizing the importance of maintaining professional reputations and digital literacy. Pat, who is the piece of shit in this story? Is it TikTok for taking these accounts down? We all know you're an invention of the Chinese that are here to disrupt the American growth and education system. You're hitting a home run here. Is it the school for getting mad? Kids are learning satire. This is hilarious. Teach them how to do it better and be like, you should do an impression of your teacher and like play up the bad things he does, and then it'll be even funnier. Is it the kids? We were all kids once. I don't know the craziest thing you did. I convinced a group of my peers that one of our teachers was the Antichrist. How did I do that, you might ask? One day I poured holy water in her drink and she got sick the next day. One day I played gospel music quietly in the back of the room and she kept getting distracted. And her name all had 6 letters in each of it. So, Pat, who's the piece of shit in this story? Is it any of those, or is it Darby Alexis Fischel? We'll never know.
Darby Alexis Fischel. It's not TikTok, because TikTok takes down a lot of shit for no reason. Like the other day, I put a post up that said, "Do you think the first guy who ever masturbated thought he broke it?" And it was fine on Facebook and Instagram. TikTok, the second I put it up, was like, "Nope," in fucking community guidelines. Then I appeal it 2 days later, and they're like, "All right, but now you already lost all your fucking traction, so now you're not getting any fucking likes on it," and they let it go. So I'm sure all the things on TikTok, they probably took down the profile, but then if they appealed it, they got it back a day later. TikTok just does that sometimes to go. TikTok does the thing where it's like, it's the dad who yells at you from the couch to stop the shit, but he's just like, "Yo, stop running," and you're like, "Start being quiet." And then when you run again later on, like, "All right, just run upstairs and just don't break shit." You know what I mean? Like,
he's not going to actually enforce anything, though. Yeah,
right. Because he says also like he's just trying to take a nap. He doesn't give a fuck. You know what I mean? But it's, to me, the piece of shit is any of the kids or parents or anyone who believe these things. I don't really give a fuck about the satire. Listen, Bobby, I think if anything, we've got too much satire nowadays, and I'm a fan of satire. But with all these fucking Hard Times and The Onion and fucking Babylon Bee and these 8,000 fucking things, if you can't read through some horse shit, here's the thing: those kids weren't doing good, like you said. So, like, if you believe, first of all, I understand our day and age, we've changed in how we do things. But if you think your teacher is gonna not discuss something in school all day and wait till TikTok to fucking tell you about something, or you think your administrator is gonna not fucking send out a memo at school as well, or in the regular emails, and just address you at night on TikTok, you're a moron, and you shouldn't be allowed to go to school or vote or fucking anything. It's like the same person who believes these fucking Onion stories, and they're like, "Did you hear that Weird Al Yankovic is the one who actually wrote the music and everybody stole it from him?" It's like, where's your article? It's like, "This is a great news article called The Onion." You're an idiot. You know what I mean? Like, that's what this is. This is a bunch of dopes. If you believe any of the shit you see on TikTok, you're an idiot. Guess what? Those white women don't really like you either that are dancing and saying, "I like you." They don't. Don't believe TikTok. It's all lies. It's all deceit.
My one win over the weekend happened on TikTok, so I'm gonna go blow my brains.
You want to win?
I was just making a joke. Like the one good thing that happened over the weekend. I was just teasing.
I know that, man. Like, was like, is there games on TikTok?
Sometimes my jokes work better in my head than when I say them into the microphone.
Oh, it was like with women?
I just meant like you were asked, I was blew off how my weekend
but
was.
if I don't get the joke, I'll be mad at myself. So I just keep asking until you tell me what the joke was.
The joke was that I went viral on TikTok over the weekend, but you said
viral. Okay, because I was saying about women duping you. So I'm like, did you joke about how like a woman duped you and you thought you were in love? Okay.
I mean, that's happened
general
before.
Dupe.
That's a daily basis in the Tamburo household.
It's me, general dupe.
For me, I see what you're saying. The piece of shit for me is the kids. What a prime opportunity to be funny and just swing and a miss. ooh, bring a crazy pet to school. Just be like, tomorrow's bring your pistol to school day or something like that. And then
all right, no, Bob, see, no.
You meant flowers.
That's too extreme the other way.
Because you were learning about you were learning about the flower sex objects in biology, but it was just like
flowers sex objects.
Yeah, that's the male sex organ within a flower. The pistol.
That sounds like a late 80s punk band. Flower sex objects live with Jane's Addiction.
So, lots of fun things you could do. Hello, my name's Mr. Kravitz, and I like sucking cock. Like, you could have so much fun with this, but they just didn't.
No.
Pat, you got one more for us before we call it a beautiful Monday?
I thought you were going to go on a rant.
No,
yeah, we'll do one more. Why not? I don't know. Are you familiar with one Giancarlo Stanton of the Yankees?
I am. I thought it was somebody else who just put a 15-minute special on YouTube, but now I know who you're referring to.
Giancarlo Cerisi? I like him. He's a nice guy.
I get those two confused all the time. That's why I was like, wait, we're doing that?
One plays for the Yankees and one pretends he plays on the straight side.
Some would say both.
Yeah. Yankees Giancarlo Stanton breaks up with his girlfriend, Adriana Hung Barnes, days after romance is revealed.
My gay joke's even better now.
There it is. Giancarlo Stanton's latest romance was a swing and a miss. The New York Yankee slugger has broken up with his girlfriend, Adriana Jade A.J. Hung Barnes. Sources tell Page 6. We hear Stanton, 34, dumped the hospitality worker, 27, just days after we broke the news in May that they had been quietly tangled up. So I like how the Page 6 news is like, oh man, they broke up right after we broke the story. Like, the story of what? People dating?
It's not a story.
Yeah, it's just dating. One insider shares that the baseball player blocked his ex on Instagram and Snapchat and has since started seeing other women, but nothing serious. Hung Barnes, meanwhile, wiped all, which sounds like if you're a woman that just was describing what it was like to be with Scotty Barnes for the Toronto Raptors. Meanwhile, wiped all traces of Stanton from her private Instagram account, in addition to unfollowing the Yankees' official page and her former beau's friends. The team's rep did not respond to multiple requests for comment, and Hung Barnes, who deleted her Facebook, X, and LinkedIn profiles mere hours after we initially reported on the relationship, could not be reached. Sources tell us in May that the former Catch hostess often crashed at Stanton's Midtown East apartment and stayed in fancy hotel suites that he discreetly booked for her. We also heard that Hung Barnes had joined the athlete in Tampa, Florida for the Bronx Bombers spring training in February. In one TikTok post, Hung Barnes even showed off a handwritten note that said AJ loves G, which he captioned that I do. The other deleted things. The 5-time All-Star was previously linked to actress Priscilla Quintana and models Chase Carter and Mariana Santana. Who is the piece of shit in this story? Is it people for giving a fuck about this relationship? Like, famous people, there's not two famous people. It's one fucking lady and a famous guy. And I get it. He's the big star in the Yankees. They always did this to Jeter, too. I'm a big baseball fan, but I don't give a fuck about who they date. I never will. I don't even care where they went to college, because college baseball sucks. I don't care about anything about their life. I don't care if they're married. I don't care if they have kids. I care if they fucking hit the ball or don't hit the ball. That's all I fucking care about, and that's it. Why does anyone care about this? I'll never know. Is it people who give a shit when things are taken down and off social media? I don't even know why social media has a dating thing on it. Like, I understand what people say it's to stop people from hitting on you and stuff like that, but it's being social in what setting. But if mostly, that doesn't deter anyone from hitting on people, no matter what's on there at all. Most of my relationships, we've never posted anything about being in relationships on there, because we know we're in a relationship. What does it matter on there? Some people might say, well, that's telling people you're single. I'm not telling people anything. No one's asking. If you asked me, I'd say I was dating someone or I wasn't dating someone. This doesn't fucking matter. Is it the pettiness of deleting and blocking people when you do that? Now, sometimes you're doing it because they're writing awful things, but if you're doing it just to do it, to wipe them out of your life, that's kind of crazy. They're still there. They were still part of your life. Be thankful. Like I've always said, no matter how mad I am at anybody or broke up with anyone, I always thank each and every person who ever let me see them naked. I thank you for your service, and it was a wonderful thing you did. I appreciate it, and I'll always have it here so I can use it here. Anyway, who's the piece of shit in the story?
So, I get the point you're making about deleting the post, but I almost, in this situation where she's not as famous as he is, it's almost like she's removing her clout a little bit. Like when you break up and you give back the car he bought you, like it seems like she's almost doing the right thing here to no longer profit off of being the one who's with Stanton. Right? So for me, I see what you're saying.
Yeah, but wait, I think because the people that do follow this and know this girl, I'm pretty sure there's a ton of followers because of this. She's doing this so they all go, oh shit, she's not with him. I'm sure there's still posts and written things or whatever. Pulling it away is just saying, holy shit, it's gone. Because a lot of her fan base came from being with Giancarlo Stanton. So therefore, if it was a regular thing, like just two normal people, then yeah, you're just doing it to go, let's just pull him out of there, pretend like it never happened, let's move on. This one, she did it so people will notice. So, because they literally write articles like this about, look what we noticed, you leave your shit.
Yeah. Now, if you leave it up, then does it become an issue for him down the road? Who knows? I don't think, like you said, she gained a lot of attention out of this relationship. So I don't think continuing to do that, that's like getting mad at the scorpion for stinging you. It's a scorpion. Like the fact that she's now doing it, she hasn't done like to what they did to Trevor Bauer or anything yet, where they, get you out of the MLB or anything crazy. So I don't think it's too far for her. I don't think it's on Stanton. He's trying to play baseball. Did he delete all of his picks?
Yes.
Oh, he did?
He did it first, and then he started making... No, he's the child in this. He's the one who did it first, took down the pics, and then wrote posts about how he's dating other women, nothing serious. Obviously, she cheated on him.
Yeah, that's kind of what I was.
And then she was like, "I don't need this shit anymore," and she just deleted it afterwards. Like, she was probably keeping it up to be civil. To be, if anything, just going, "Yeah, it was part of my life, whatever." And it sounds like because he's the one who's like, right away, I'm dating other people, nothing serious. I'm just out there getting women. Obviously, something happened. Even if she didn't cheat, something happened where she broke it off with him. He's being the baby. He deleted everything. It wouldn't have fucking mattered.
Yeah. So I thought he had cheated, but yeah, it's her for cheating. You had a great situation.
We don't know if she cheated. They didn't say that. I just made that up.
I joined it.
No, you'll always jump after the woman no matter what.
Yeah, if you lead a woman hater to water.
That's him. 1,000,000,000% it's him. Who gives a fuck? You've got billions of dollars. Grow the fuck up. Listen, I've had my heart broken. I've had to make hard decisions. I've had to walk away from people. If there's pictures up, unless it was like we had to block each other, I'll leave it. It's a memory. You keep memories of 10 years ago when you had different haircuts. You leave that memories when you were on the... Did you block the Marlins, asshole, when you left? No. You didn't block the Marlins, did you? But you left them high and dry. You fucked them over. They thought they were going to have a star for a long time. And then you went over somewhere else to go date to want more money. So what the fuck? Leave the pictures up. She broke your heart. It's a reminder to not trust as much, to fucking pay attention to things in life, to maybe not be with somebody that you have to get expensive hotels for when you're dating. Maybe it shouldn't be about spending money. Maybe it should be about spending time. So you're the piece of shit, because also your name is Giancarlo, and that's a name of a Lothario. Lotharios don't give a fuck about bitches.
In the words of Pat's training videos, bitches ain't shit but hoes and tricks.
That's not what they said. I wish it did. That would have been way better.
That would be my favorite training of all time.
Thank you guys so much for joining us today. Tomorrow we'll be starting around 5 o'clock. Just pay attention with your notification stuff, exactly when I put the time up, maybe 4:30, but around that 5 o'clock time. It'll be tomorrow and Wednesday for sure, because I've got more training to do for the thing. But yeah, like, subscribe, all that stuff. Make sure you head on over to comicsroadhouse.com. If you don't see the link up yet for the tickets from 8th to 10th, then just call the club. Go to their website, comicsroadhouse.com, be like, hey, I'm looking to get tickets to those 8 and 10 shows. We want to start making them know we want those tickets. They're getting it up there. Just been some difficulties, I guess. But yeah, the shows are going to be happening in about a month, so we need you guys to come out. We're going to really need that push. We need to pack it out so we have some good recordings. So make sure you do that. Join us over on the Patreon, POS Podcast Patreon. Little as $3 a month. You get the Thursday Thoughts shows, plus all these shows afterwards and bonus shit. So please go check all that out. Bobby.
If you can't join them, beat them. And most importantly, don't be a piece of shit.